Easy, I remember. All right, where's Billy O? Could be. Well, it could be that too. Oh, could be. Yeah, it could be our guy who actually shovels. I'm not supposed to shovel anymore.
Yeah, trying to be.
But I did shovel the one.
Oh, I wonder who did this one.
I just did the path, so I could do that, but I try to be good. A little hard sometimes.
Yeah, I sneak out, but I know my limit too.
Yeah,
All there and exercise is not. I mean, it doesn't have to be shoveling either,
no,
because it puts a strain on my other muscles. So.
yep.
So I'm scheduled to get a new pacemaker in March.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this one's running out of gas.
Oh, no.
So he said it would last about 5 years. That was back in 2012.
Woo,
So it's been 9 years.
so it's actually done well.
Yeah, I did pretty good with it. He said there's another 3.5 months of battery left, but he doesn't like to run it up to the
Well, no.
what they call the drop dead line.
The drop dead line. Oh, cool.
Yeah, okay, let's go early.
Yeah, that drop dead line doesn't interest me a whole lot. I mean, I know it's going to come one day, but
Yeah, it's been there before, so I just can't remember it. That's all.
yeah, you've been close enough. Come on, Bill. I think that's Travis's shoveling.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a great guy. He does all kinds of stuff. I mean, he does our.
It looks like he works.
He works. He does our mowing and all kinds of.
Yeah.
Actually, he helped me prepare this space
Oh, he did. Oh.
because this used to be filled. We used to store everything in here.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
We got rid of a lot,
I got one of those places.
but we had to empty it out, clean it up.
Yeah.
Um,
It looks pretty good. Actually,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, when you get older, everything kind of gets smaller. So,
Yes, it does.
that's why I think Hillary was smart. She got an apartment.
Oh, she did.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Back in, when did she move out? Before Thanksgiving, a couple
Oh,
weeks
wow.
before Thanksgiving. Yeah, yeah. I was with Gretchen. Yeah, we met in Albuquerque. We spent about a week together down there.
Oh, cool.
I came home, got home around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and all the furniture was gone. You know, except my bed. She left my bed and put all my clothes around the bed. Whatever.
Whoa.
But she left, you know, stuff she didn't want. So, yeah.
Well, it's nice she left to bed.
Well, yeah, technically, yeah. I did. I paid for that. That's some of the stuff I paid for. She took, but I haven't seen or heard from her since.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
gone. I asked where she was living. When she told me she got an apartment, I said where, and she said I'm not going to tell you. Okay. Good luck.
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, Dave.
It's, I don't know, to me, it's almost like she must feel some unconscious shame for her behavior to not communicate at all.
Well, it kind of sounds like that.
Yeah, I mean, talking to my therapist, they're pretty clear about it. It's very childlike. And it's points back to some early childhood trauma. But yeah, at 73, she should be able to hold the conversation. But
Yes.
no, no.
Oh,
So yeah, so I did a lot of shopping the first week I was back.
I guess you did, didn't you?
Yeah. You want to cook something? Oh, I need pots and pans. Okay.
Jeez.
Take a bath, take a shower. Oh, I need towels. Okay.
God.
I know. It's all
Uh,
right. It was a good experience.
Well, what do we say? Flow is change.
Absolutely. Well, wade into the street.
Well, we seem to be down to just,
It's 5 after.
yeah, we're gonna start. Jeff?
Yeah,
Joyce and her husband are away on their anniversary,
okay.
and actually today is my anniversary.
Oh,
Is it really?
Yeah,
How many years?
26.
Sorry. Wow. Congratulations.
yes.
Yeah. And Carol had a doctor's appointment, and I don't know where Bill is.
Okay.
So
So
we're
just
gonna
2 of
start.
us. All right.
Well,
Just
no,
the two
yeah,
of
2
us.
of you. We have
I'm here.
Dave is here and you're here.
I made it.
So if Dave is here, I'm gonna move back here.
Okay.
I was checking this.
Oh, yeah. Either of you have a question?
On the form, I would like to go over press, into and through press as far as rotation and shifting and all. That's still kind of sketchy for me.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the last one, right?
no.
Oh, well,
Press
then-
is,
oh, yeah, okay. Well, whatever the last one is, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
How I get
okay, so a couple of
into it.
form questions. Anybody, any questions about knee alignment?
I mean, it's all knee police, so
Yeah, it is.
that's the way I learned it.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
no
gotta stay open.
questions, but I definitely need to be mindful of it. I'm trying to be more mindful of it, but I know what I have to do. I just don't always do it.
Okay, well, that's good. So you can pay attention to it and
Yeah.
make sure as often as you can. Good. So you could probably sit for a minute if you want.
Okay.
There's one here or
This is good.
wherever you like.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're going to keep looking some more at alignments. And proper alignments make sure that you neither block your chi from moving through the parts of your body, or it makes sure that you don't dissipate the energy from a joint. For example, if you did something wrong with your elbow when you're trying to get your chi to go from wrist to shoulder, it could literally dissipate out your elbow. So it's not getting a clean flow that circulates through your body, but you're actually dissipating it. Second, it will cause some strain on the biomechanical nature of the human body. But the biggest thing is that you never want to block or dissipate your chi. Now, one of the things that goes with this is that when you are standing, your feet will ideally remain stably on the floor without shifting around. So part of what that means is that the arch is slightly lifted, not flat, slightly lifted, but then you have all the points in the circumference around your foot, every part of it putting pressure on the floor. And your armpits need to stay open and not collapse or shut down. So one of the important things is that you never want your hand to touch the body or your arms to touch the body. You want to keep at least a hand's width between your hand and your body. So quick. So this will become important because it is part of the skill of maintaining the flow of energy through the left and right channels. Under no circumstances should your arms touch your flesh anywhere. So what this does, is to allow the etheric chi that's in your body to circulate as smoothly as it can. When you close down your armpits or when you touch your body, this interferes with the etheric energy within your body. But note that we're not using the etheric energy around your body at the moment. Everything that you're doing now is strictly happening internally, below your skin. So what I'd like you to do is to think about that much. Stand up. And start with your feet comfortably together. Then step out to shoulders width. And as you stand now, think about the armpits. Feel a sense of openness. You don't have to lift the arms way out. The hand actually might even be touching the side of your thigh. That's okay. But the armpit needs to be open. And then feel your feet. Feel the weight on your feet. Have a little sense of lifting your arch very slightly. It's not a big, not crunching up, just lifting the arch slightly. Feel the connection all the way around your foot so that the feet are really stable on the ground. Just feel that. What does that do with your body? Remember to be aware of your knees. They're very, very slightly bent. You have sunk down at the qua. The head is lifted, but not tilted. Not tilted back on the sides. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Now, I want you to stay in this position. Simply go into the basic dynamic sphere, basic Chansa-jin. So allowing your quad to fold so you can sink down a little, rotating the arm. And then just going through these basic movements and trying to stay aware of all those parts. Keep the head in position. Keep the knees in position. As your weight shifts and you rotate, don't let the knees drop in. And keep the weight flowing right down through each foot. Feeling the sense of each foot flat on the floor, connecting all the parts of the leg and the foot, not coming onto an edge. Make sure that you have that sense of the perineum, the dong, staying open. Aware of that constant shift of the weight. It's continuously moving. Halfway onto one foot, halfway back to the other, all the way onto one leg, all the way onto the other, but not too far and not too little. Finding where that is, maintaining all those points. And when you complete the revolution you're on, pause. So how was that? What, any questions?
One quick question. When you were saying all the way onto one foot, you didn't mean 100%, did you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Ideally,
I wasn't shifting that much. Okay, that was my only question.
so you don't have to be doing that yet at this point, although you've been doing this long enough that I would presume you could, or so it would be something to definitely be aware of working towards.
Right.
So this is something that comes up all the time, that you have to find when you shift to 100% on a foot, you have to maintain the structure when you do that. And you have to find where is actually 100% and I'm not shifted too far onto that foot so that if I were to lift my foot, I'd fall off.
Right,
Or you haven't clearly shifted completely to 100%, so you can't lift that foot without falling back. So there is a place in there where by finding your structure and sinking your weight, you can balance. So you have to find that spot. And it's not something that you have to do right away, but it's something to work towards.
okay. I can certainly do it, but I thought, you know, in my mind in that exercise, I was more focused on keeping the connection fully with both feet. And I didn't know if we were, you know, if we were meant to shift 100% or not. But I was focusing on what you were saying as far as keeping the both feet flat and focusing on that connection and all that as well.
So that, of course, has to do with what fold you have at the quad.
Okay,
Because if you haven't allowed yourself to find that lowered position at the quad, you're here,
right,
then when you try to go to 100%, you're not going to be able to do it and maintain your structure.
okay,
So you really have to find, oh yeah, oh, there's that what I refer to as base level.
right,
Where does my quad naturally release to? And
right,
then that's the level at which you're able to maintain the structure and do all the movements you want to do and
Right.
go to 100%.
yeah, I did not fold enough and go down to that level enough on that exercise, you're
Yep.
right. It's a good point.
Yep.
Okay,
Good.
There seemed to be something going on with my knees as I went. Not that my, you know, it's constantly ball knee quad,
Yeah.
but there's,
You have a little tendency to let your knees drop in.
yeah, that must be it, because I can feel as we went on and on, there was some
Stress.
Stress, yeah, okay, that's a good one. That would kind of go back and forth.
Yeah,
Um,
because, and it happened when you went down.
Yeah, yeah, that's,
So, well, that I believe me, I understand, but so when you go down, you have to make sure that you don't allow the knees to do this.
yeah.
I'm exaggerating, of course.
No, that's okay, because actually, if I stand naturally, my toes tend to point out. So it's really, it doesn't feel natural for me to stand like this.
So you can start with the toes out a little,
Yeah,
and then think about gradually trying to work them
fall
in,
back, yeah.
but not force it all at once.
Yeah, I think it's because too many years of driving.
That could be.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, Rick Barrett pointed that out one time, too many years of putting your right foot on the gas pedal and having it at a 45. So just kind of get, I don't know, just train yourself to be conscious of that and to stand a little more correctly, or even walking too.
Yeah,
Same thing, walking,
same thing.
yeah.
So, but you can always, you don't have to force your feet into position.
Yeah, because it doesn't work if I do that.
Yeah.
70%.
Rick has the same problem.
Oh, yeah, I know. Even when he walks, he's like a
Yeah.
duck.
Yeah.
So, but you can't tell him anything. Never mind.
Don't go there.
I'm not going there. No, sorry. My New Year's resolution is gossip, working on that.
Okay, so next thing is your elbow tips. We want them to always seeking to be perpendicular. But obviously you can't do that in some of the motions that we do. But if you can't get your elbows to face all the way to the ground, then what you want to do, if they are out to 45 degrees, is to feel the tip of your elbow pressing the ground. What you do not want is the sense that your elbow is not connected to whatever is in the lower part of your body or your feet. So perpendicular is the ideal position, but some movements will not allow that. So recognize the difference between out to the side and slightly down, even though they still are somewhat to the side. You need the compression making the elbow face to the floor. So let me expose my elbows, which may be helpful actually. So if we think about the positions in our standing postures, that even as we come up, we want to think about the elbows going to the ground, not going out. So you have to continuously think about that, because the tendency is, for instance, in this next transition, to do this, which is pushing the elbows out. And what you want to do is keep the elbows going down. And yeah, we'll work on these in a minute. When you go to Kahn water, that's not so difficult. But this one, again, there is a tendency to end up like this rather than like this. So you gotta drop the elbows. Here isn't so much of a problem. Here can be, because I see people doing this instead of keeping the elbow down. And this one, not a problem. This one, more of a problem, because it's very easy to end up doing that instead of doing this.
Hmm.
You have to find the difference. So we'll work through these in a minute. So as you make the transitions and pulse the energy, you're using the Kwa fold. You simply want to make sure that your Kwa is folding and that it doesn't stay still, and that you move your upper body. It has to fold, like folding a piece of paper. You don't want to begin to, and we also want to begin to use a spine stretch. And that is very simply that when your arms and Kwa bend, the vertebrae in the back of your spine open up, and then when you extend the arms and the Kwa, the vertebrae in the front of your spine open. Perhaps easier said than done. So the point being that basically in these postures, we're doing a Kwa fold, which is this. We're not doing a Kwa squat, which is that. When you're doing a Kwa fold and you want the spine stretch, which at its more advanced level is referred to in China as bend the bow and shoot the arrow. You have two things happen. One is that the pelvis has to slightly tuck so that it pulls on the lower spine, opening the back of the spine. And at the same time, the head does a crane neck, extending and bending slightly forward, not way down, to stretch the upper part of the spine. And so those two are happening simultaneously. They're happening together. And that opens spaces between each of the vertebrae in the back of the spine. So when you go down, you're doing this. When you come up, these 2 points are going down and up, not back, which is something you have to try to be aware of. So when you go down, it opens the back of the spine, and when you come up, it opens the front of the spine, hopefully keeping the spaces that you've opened in the back of the spine still there. Nothing to it. Not easy. So let's play a little bit with this. So first, just standing, do a qua fold. So just sink into that and come up, and just do that a couple of times. Let me look at. Jeff, turn sideways to me. So don't let your knees go so far forward, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, which probably won't let you sink as far.
Right.
Remember our exercise of putting the knees against a chair and sinking down.
Some of that is my sweatpants. My knees are actually back here.
Okay,
So a little of that is exaggerated.
all right.
I know what you're saying. I definitely need to focus on that. So when we're doing this, David, are we also focusing on the tucking under a little bit?
We're going to, but right at the moment we were just sinking straight down
Okay.
and not pushing the knees too far forward. Good. You're doing well.
Yeah, then you can.
So then, first, just try tucking the pelvis a little bit as you go down and feeling that stretch in the lower spine. That's good, Dave.
Work on that.
Yeah, well. Well, as much as I can tell, Jeff, that looks pretty good. Do you have any question about it?
No, I am doing less knee bending than when I first did it. So
Good.
I'm listening.
Yep.
Focusing on that because I was doing too much for sure.
Yep.
So no, this feels better.
And then try adding the neck and the hi pup. One of the important things about that is extending your neck. And
Let's go.
so what I'm seeing you doing is you're extending your neck and pushing your chin forward. And what you want to do is extend your neck and bend the front of the foot.
Oh, okay. Oh. So it's gotta go.
Uh-huh.
Stay back.
Your shoulders should have to relax.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. You got it. That's good for a start.
It doesn't go this way.
It's, no, it's not doing this.
Because your spine has to stay.
Your spine, it's like the center of your spine stays where it is,
Yeah.
and the lower and upper parts stay forward.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to exaggerate this.
No. That's, I have to kind of focus. Bring my attention to it, and then I can separate them. So, for this.
Yeah, heaven and earth.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes, yes, we were.
That's because it's familiar. I don't-
So Jeff, don't push your chin forward. It's going to arc, go up and bend forward. Now you're pushing the chin forward. Okay. Jeff?
Yep.
Look at me here. I'm just sitting here right in front of the computer so you can see. So what I'm seeing is you're getting the extension of your head, but then you're pushing the chin out.
Okay,
What we want to do is let that head extend up and bend forward so that you feel the upper part of the spine stretch.
okay.
So you're not, yeah, this will be one to work on. You want to really separate and think of that bend. Oh, wait a minute, let me camera change. I do. That wasn't what I meant. Okay. That's not what I want. So Jeff, you want to think of this movement that the middle of the spine stays where it is. And the top and the bottom are going to bend forward and then straighten up and down. So the middle of your spine doesn't really go anywhere, but the top and the bottom curve and then straighten.
Okay.
So don't do as much with the neck as you do with the pelvis. I mean, don't do more with the neck than you're doing with the pelvis. So the pelvis can't move a whole lot.
Right,
The neck has a lot of flexibility,
right.
but you want to equalize those two. So the movement is actually a little more subtle. Better.
Yeah, I can feel the stretching.
Good.
Yeah, that was good.
That's what you're looking for.
Up through here,
Yep.
starting like in the shoulder, that muscle and up through there.
And can you feel in like the lumbar spine?
The very lowest one or two, yes.
Okay, that's good. It's a start.
Yeah,
So this is clearly not an easy movement.
hmm,
However, it is has a huge impact on the movement of the energy. The other thing I would say in this is that you have to try to not allow the midriff to collapse when you bend the spine forward. So it's very easy as you do that spine stretch to let the midriff collapse, because that's easy to get it down. But that's not it. The midriff continues to open. The energy goes down from the chest. So you just have to be aware of, well, yes, there's a bend at the midriff. It's not collapsing.
Right.
So you get the scapular belly kind of more perpendicular. For me, that was that. So I have to put my intention there to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, this is the easy part. No arms moving.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just tried that.
Do you have any question at the moment, Jeff?
no question. I think I do understand what I need to do and I feel it. I'm just, it's so subtle and so many things happening. It's going to take some practice.
Yep. Okay, good. Let me say a little more here.
Okay.
Take a little break. There should be some consideration that your spine, as well as your quad, are joining together and telling your arms how to move. You're not moving your arms and then moving your spine and your quad. You're moving your spine and your quad to cause your arms to move. So you have to be clear about who is the leader and the follower. Now, so that no one is confused about this, the elapsed space of time between your quad bending and your spine bending, or your quad lengthening and your spine lengthening, is going to be less than a second. It just has to happen first. So it doesn't have to be that if you have a leader and a follower, that there has to be space before you start actually moving your body. It's just a little tiny bit. You have to make that connection. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will start moving your arms and then think about moving your quad. And the fact of the matter is that it is the inside that is causing the outside to happen, and not the outside causing the inside.
basic meditation practice. Instead of
Actually,
this
yes.
isn't the problem. This is.
So. Just to be clear about this, I hope, anyway. And just watch me for a moment. So when we talk about that spine bending and straightening, it's bending when we begin, and then it continues to bend, and then it straightens. And then it bends, and it straightens. And it bends, and it straightens. And if you think about pulsing, it bends and straightens as you pulse. So you're getting the spine and qua to move the arms through that circular motion, to move the energy through your body. So you're bending and straightening, and bending and straightening. It just goes through every movement. So working just with the standing practice, you can get a lot of practice
Yeah.
on all these parts. So questions?
No, that's good. It's kind of, when I do my practice, I knew something wasn't quite right, and I tended to exaggerate a lot of that. Like, I think the instruction when I was first introduced to it was to pretend there's a stool back here and try to sit, which is not, that's probably a good place to start, but that's not where you
But it's
find
a
out.
start.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, I think keeping the arms, you gotta keep the roundness too.
Uh-huh.
As you go through, the different elbow.
Being constantly aware of the spherical.
We have
Nature of the
this
movement.
part here.
Yep.
And the bird's nest, or the bird's nest, robin's egg, how about that?
Robin's egg, yeah. Yeah, you don't want a whole bird's
I was
nest in
close.
there. Although I've known some hairy individuals. Okay, so. Any other questions on this at the moment?
Yeah, no, right now.
No,
Okay.
not at the moment.
Okay, good. So all of these principles apply to everything we're doing. And we've kind of let go of the double arm practice at the moment, but it applies very much to the single arm. And I think, thinking about that, so we're doing a number of things here. So there is a spine bend, but what I would suggest is not to worry about the spine bend in this at first, but all of the other things, the feet. So even when you start, I see sometimes, a knee dropping in, or an elbow pushing out. So we went through the basic movement here. So it's the same when we think about the elbow, it's the same thing here. You want that elbow to stay down. You don't want to get here and start going out with the elbow, which lifts the shoulder, and you immediately lose the energetic connection. So the elbow stays down. And it goes down, it doesn't get left behind. Now, here's a place where you really have to think about it because it's very easy to push the elbow out. But if you think of being on the top of your sphere and dropping your elbow, it's not too hard to do. And then going through. You just have to keep constantly being aware where your elbows are. And the feet flat on the floor and the armpits open and nothing to think about. So do a little bit of the single arm, particularly thinking about the elbows. So Jeff, the two things that I would say to you. First, in camera. When you get you 7, 8, remember that 1 is all the shift back. 2 is just a rotation. You're shifting back all the way through. It's not.
Okay.
It's shift and turn, just rotate, just rotate. Okay?
Okay.
And then when you do the left arm movement, which is a real pain for everybody at first, what I'm seeing you do, I believe, from the angle I was seeing you, is that you were doing this. Your ball is here. Your arm is not even anywhere in the sphere.
Okay.
So that movement, when you do 1, you have to cross the center of the body and flatten the S curve a little so that you can get to 3 at the bottom.
Okay.
But it all happens right here.
Right.
It doesn't go off to the side somewhere.
Yeah, I definitely need to bring the arm across the middle
Yeah.
of the body. I was not getting close to that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then thinking about all the stuff we talked about today.
Right.
Don't forget to breathe.
Yes. Dave
Yeah.
said, don't forget to breathe.
Yeah, that's kind of important too, I think.
Pause right there. Just hold it a minute. Look where your left arm is. It was way out to the side. It's got to be in the middle by that point. So you've got to make that movement all be right in front of your body, not off to the side at all. That was much better.
Okay.
So a couple things I would say to you, sure. Your left arm movement is pretty good.
Yeah, I've been working on it.
Yeah, it really is pretty good. Here's where you with the left arm, you lose the sphere.
Yeah.
You're doing this.
Oh, it's
You're going from here instead of
yeah,
follow the ball.
yeah, yeah. It's got to be. a
Follow
little
the ball. It's down here. And then the turn of the body
Oh, okay.
connects you to the
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Well, of course you're right. I could kind of feel, I wasn't sure where to go on that, but I knew where I needed to end up.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, that is better. I gotta work on